Hi there. There was a question on Facebook the other day about how to create two lines of text on a matrix, and it's pretty simple to do. I thought I'd just quickly go through that, how you do that. So I'm going to create a new animation sequence. It's going to take the default 20 frames per second, but that's not important. I'm going to go to my matrix view just to make it easier. All right, so we're going to grab the text effect. We're going to move it down to my matrix. Click across. We have my effects setting. I'm going to move it down so we can see everything on the effects. There we go. So let's say line one. Just some choices here. Because I have two colors selected, it's going to go back and forth. So I'm just going to unselect one color. I'm going to change my movement, make it go right, so you can see that. There is one option here where you can move it up and down. The problem with that is it's going to vary based on um, how big your prop is. So I'm going to show you a different option. But before I do that, I'm going to insert a layer below, and I'm going to throw just an on effect underneath, just so that you can see the size of my matrix here. And I'll make that just a lighter color so that hopefully we can see the text going across. Perfect. There we go. So now you can see that the Y is changing it, and I'll move it down a little bit, and you can see it's slowly moving down. So that's one way to do it, where you would say, okay, create an extra layer, insert layer below, grab a text effect, and put it below it. Now remember that with rendering, you're painting everything in the matrix this color, then you're going to apply this text, then you're going to apply this text. So this is here is line, and I'm going to say that's line two, and I'm going to spell it out just so it's really obvious. So now you can see that because they both have the same Y value, they're stepping on each other. So I'm going to click on this one and move it up, and the slider is very touchy. So there's one way to do it, right? Let's show you a different way because this is kind of, like I said, it varies on what size of prop you can do. So we're going to pull in the layer settings window here, and I'm going to close the color settings just so I get more real estate for the video. And I'm going to go across. There you go. And there you go. There we are. There we go. All right, so this is the buffer window. So this represents the entire matrix. We always talk about the render buffer. That represents the entire um, space that this effect will take. So if I right click on here and I want to say make it the upper half, so top half. So now this text effect only will occupy the top half. So now I can come to my Y and just put it 0. So now it's going to be right in the middle of this upper half. And I'll do the same thing with the bottom one here. I'm going to right click halves and make it the bottom half. So now it's the bottom half. And then now that we've done that, we do not need to change this at all. And now you have exactly in the middle, both effects doing like that. Um, while we're here, let me just grab the text effect and bring it over here and show you another one. I'm going to double click this to go back to the full buffer and click on the text effect. There are, you can put in \n line one. I got it backwards, but you know what I mean. So if I put this as line one, line two, there's another way of doing it with one effect. The beauty of this is that they're going to be in sync as they go across. And with a recent update, they're actually centered and properly spaced. So hopefully that helps. That's another way to do it. And while we're doing the text effect, let me just show you something that maybe you didn't even realize. But this choice here says use OS font. When it's set to use OS font, it uses this value to determine what the font will look like. So if I click that, say bold, you're going to get, it doesn't really show up that well in Matrix, but let's go, well, let's go just to show you, 11. There we go. So bold 11 shows up. But if you don't have use OS font selected, you're going to use this uses the built-in fonts. So it's one or the other. If you choose this font, you're going to get a built-in xLights font. Now the xLights fonts, XL fonts, they're crisper, cleaner, very structured lines, nothing fancy. Whereas in the OS fonts, you can choose from all of the various built-in Microsoft fonts that you have or Mac fonts or whatever. Keep in mind, though, these fonts are specific to your PC that you're running on. If you share these sequences or whatever, there's no guarantee that they're going to have those exact same fonts. This one, by the way, is this one called small fonts. I found that on the internet one time, and it allows you to go to like really small versions. I thought that was kind of cool. So if I go small fonts and make it 3, well, you can't really see it's so small, but it does have the option there. Um, 6, I think, might be the smallest. Even that one's pretty hard to see, but you get the idea. So there's the difference there between use OS fonts and the built-in xLights fonts so that you now that you know the difference. And I think Arial is pretty common. Arial, regular. There we go. I might have had bold selected before. And while we're here, you can control the speed, right? So you can make it go slow or fast. You can say move to the right, but stop in the middle. And I'm on this one, so this guy's eventually going to get there. And then there's another option here on, if I go to the bottom one here, if I speed it up, and I can say no repeat means it's going to go across and it'll stop. Now it's going to repeat just because xLight's repeating it, but it's not actually repeating. Yeah, so that's it. So if you want to add multiple lines of text, just create two text effects, or do it with one and use the backslash n slash n to get it on the second line. This is probably the approach you might want if you want them to be in sync. Otherwise, you're going to have to play with speeds and such. But there's your tip for today on the text effect and creating multiple lines on your text effect. So great. Have a great day. Be sure and like and subscribe and all that stuff. And see you in the Zoom room.